Hey all, this is Catfish Cameron, coming at you with a 1-year review of my Whisker Seeker rods and my Daiwa Seagate. Today we'll be going over the amount of wear and tear the Whisker Seeker rods and Daiwa Seagate reel have gone through over a year, and much more. Let's get to it. I own 2 Whisker Seeker rods. One, a medium heavy 9.5 foot casting rod, and the other, a medium heavy 7.5 foot spinning rod. Alright, first thing we're going to talk about the Daiwa Seagate SGT 35H. This is a really great reel, holds a lot of mono, and a year later it's really just as smooth as the day I bought it, if not smoother. Aside from the smoothness of this reel a year later, even though I very rarely use the clicker is still very positive and quite loud. Aside from that, this is a very heavy duty reel with a lot of drag, and it will hold a lot of line, especially braid. This will do quite well for many species of fish, fresh and saltwater. Alrighty, now we're on to the 9.5 foot medium heavy Whisker Seeker casting rod. This is the rod I chose to pair up with the Daiwa Seagate. I haven't had any problems out of the combo. Here on the lower half of the handle of the rod, the cork is in virtually perfect condition. Haven't had a problem with the handle material whatsoever. Along with the reel seat and grip, besides them being dirty, have virtually no damage, haven't came loose. They hold tension just the same as the day I bought the rod. The threading is nice and precise on the reel seat. And up to the upper part of the handle, the cork is also in perfect condition, and where it meets the ends of the rod has not cracked or chipped. This is the only amount of chipping that I've noticed on a pretty much a small thin piece of clear coat has came separated due to the rod flexing. Now off to the rod eyes and the second half of the rod. Most of the eyes have a crack on the epoxy, as well as the second half at the opening having a pretty much the same epoxy issue as the lower half of the rod above the handle. Here we go to the eyes itself. Now on this rod I've only used mono, 40-pound mono, either Berkeley Big Game or Cat Max from Cabela's, and every one of the eyes except for the very first 2 have developed the cuts from the line, just the friction from the line just cutting into the rod eye, as well as as you could see right there, the cracks in the epoxy from under the wraps, which I consider just cosmetic cracking from fighting fish and the rod taking up stresses as it bends and breaks in. I haven't had a rod eye come loose. I haven't had to repair a rod eye. Up here to the tip, we have some cracking on the paint from me running it through trees and whatnot. And onto the tip eyelet, it also has the grooves from 40-pound mono running through the eye. Alright, now we're on to the 7.5 foot Whisker Seeker medium heavy spinning rod. I've had this rod slightly longer than the casting rod, but the handle material is still in virtually perfect condition all the way up to the reel seat. Onto the reel seat, it's very lightweight and has solid construction, and it's one of the only reel seats that's not a metal reel seat that has the double locking nuts. On the upper part of this reel seat, it has some minor scratches from it sitting in my rod holder, but other than that, on the upper part of the handle, virtually perfect condition, no chipping on the cork, no dents. Very nice handle construction on these rods. As you can see, the beveled section has the same crack or separation from flexing as the casting rod. On up to the first eye of the, it's in perfect condition, as well as both parts of the rod. This is a two-piece rod, and the points at which they come together are perfect. They have no cracking, has a small foam insert at the tip of the first piece of the rod. At the second piece of the rod, it's nice and uniform, has a very clean shoulder, no cracking or chipping in that section. On up to the rod eyes. All of the rod eyes are very much perfect on this rod. Much better than the casting rod. All I've used on this rod is braid with a spinning reel. And all I've used on the casting rod is straight mono. The mono is cutting through these Whisker Seeker eyes worse than braid. And I've actually had that be the opposite with other rods. Mono works fine with the eyes. As soon as you put braid on some of these reels, it cuts them like a saw. With the Whisker Seeker eyes on this spinning rod, virtually no damage. You can see a small wear pattern right here from the line just doing its normal rubbing. I've also quite abused these rods, running them through trees, fishing in heavy cover, and fishing with 50-pound braid minimum. Now we're going to get to the fishing section of this video. Pretty much to sum up, the Whisker Seeker rods are very high quality. I would buy them again, but I don't need to because the two I have work just fine. There you go. Looks like a bite. There you go. There's a bite. Bad little channel cat. Just a small guy. Woo! First one of the night. Stole my bait too. Not bad at all. Woo! Channel Catfish. Catfish Cameron. Let's keep fishing. Hopefully get on more. Hopefully we get on some with some size. This one's got a belly though, so they're eating around here. They're eating
Channel
something.
cat. Not half bad.
cold, cold water. There he goes. I'll have to fight another day. There he goes, back on it. Tap. Really? Crazy. Ooh. Came off. Darn it, he came off. Wasn't quick enough on him. Nearly skinned my whole bait. Really, let it go. Just dropped it. Wow. Keeps hitting it and just dropping it. Hit again. Got him. That's the one we were waiting for. That's the one we were waiting for right there. That's the one we were waiting for. That was the one we were waiting for, folks. That was the one we were waiting for. I can't even see him. Feels decent. Doesn't feel too big. Yeah, just a little channel cat. Thought that was gonna be a big one. Look at that channel cat. He is ice cold. Ice water. Woo! Not half bad little channel cat right there. Waiting on him. Short bit like crazy. Woo! Number 2. Smaller than that first one, but they're short biting a lot. It's freezing out here. It's dropping, I think it's about below freezing right now. It's gonna get 21 degrees as the low tonight. Catfish are still biting. They gotta eat someday, even in the winter. Let's keep fishing. There goes that channel cat. You let go, buddy. Ah, she won't let go. There he goes. I'll have to fight another day. Alrighty, y'all. This was Catfish Cameron with a 1-year Whisker Seeker rod review. Caught those catfish because it's a fishing video. But other than that, reviewed the rods. I like the Whisker Seeker rods. I plan on having these 2 rods right here for a long time. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more fishing action. Appreciate you watching.